Hi guys, it's Sunday. Welcome back to the den. So yeah, it's Sunday and we didn't post last week. We are bad.
Yeah, we've kind of slipped into this habit and we're trying to break it now, so.
Yeah, yeah. We've got a little bit distracted. I've been a little bit busy working on some graphics and stuff. I decided to volunteer a little bit of my graphic expertise, as it were, and I did some graphics for a makeup line, and I will give you a little backstory. So basically, there is this trans makeup YouTuber slash entrepreneur, and I've been following her on Twitter for a year and a half. Recently, I started noticing that she was having some trouble with some sales and stuff, and because last year Black Lives Matter was trending, people were making sure they were buying from small black-owned businesses, stuff like that, and since then it's all kind of dwindled off, and so I just thought, I can't buy anything to support her, so my thought is I'm sitting around doing nothing right now. What I could do to try and help and support her is do a couple graphics. So I noticed that she had just released some purses, and I decided to slap together a couple little ads for social media and stuff, and she really, really liked it, and I threw a couple more together. And then she asked me if I wanted to design the packaging. She released fake lashes last year, and she was rebranding them. Essentially, there was a famous YouTuber who literally stole her aesthetic, the design, the packaging, everything for it. So she essentially just wanted to relaunch the brand with a different image just because her previous artwork had been stolen. So I spent the better part of a week working on it, and the packaging came together beautifully. It's this prismatic rainbow background with a bunch of clouds and stuff. It's really, really nice, and I'm excited that some of my artwork is actually going somewhere and doing something, and doing this has been a lot of fun, and it reminded me how much fun I had doing it in my early 20s, and it kind of sort of refueled like a desire to get back into designing and doing stuff like that. In my early 20s, I did a lot of promotional material and artwork for Jagged Edge Films, which was a small independent film company in New York. And then there was some other small ones, some concert posters and stuff that I had done up for different bands and stuff. So doing it again, it's a lot of fun, and it's reminding me that maybe that's where I should try and bring my art. So it inspired me to do some more work on my monster mashup designs. So for those of you who've been watching us for a while, last year I released 2 t-shirt designs. One was a Hocus Pocus and 9 to 5 mashup, and the other one was Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, but it was done with Vampira and Lily Munster. I pulled those down off my Etsy store shortly after Halloween. I had some issues with the Gentlemen Prefer Ghouls poster being stolen, as well as the Hocus Pocus one. It just, as a graphic, it looked great, or rather, as a poster, it looked great, but as a graphic on a t-shirt, it didn't really fit. It was just like a big rectangle, and I wanted to make it a little bit more organic, so I've been working on that one quite a bit. At this point, what would you say, like 30, 40, 50 hours that I've put in, like a stupid amount of time, and
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
not
you
finished.
have put a lot of time into it, but I would say probably like 30 or 40 hours, yeah.
And so other than that, I've been working on some other mashups, working on a really fun one right now. Don't want to spoil it, so I'll keep that zipped, but my goal is in 2 weeks to have a bunch posted onto my Etsy store, and I'm hoping to launch them as the monster mashups. So that's my goal for the next 2 weeks. Anything going on with you, baby?
Same stuff, different day.
I mean, we just entered stage 3 So that means that everything is reopening again. It's not fully open, but like you can eat in restaurants again. Malls are open again. Casinos are reopening, stuff like that. So we're on the road to fully reopening Ontario, which is exciting.
Yeah. As long as the Delta variant doesn't do what it's been trying to do.
Well, and the fact that we are in a tourist area, major tourist area, even for Canada, it's a major tourist area. So at this point, we're still kind of keeping our distance from everybody, doing our own thing, and just, I know we're fully vaccinated, but just playing it safe.
Yeah, I mean, fully vaccinated doesn't mean that you can be careless and just...
Well, and to be completely fair, we're very much like homebodies. And
yeah,
like,
very much.
Not antisocial, but antisocial, you know?
It's too people-y outside.
People, ew. So, other than that, we have just been, you know, chilling around here, watching some new TV.
Yeah, we watched American Horror Stories.
So good.
Yeah.
Not available in Canada, which is absolute crap.
Yeah, so we use our VPN, not sponsored by any VPN company, but if you'd like to, reach out
that would
to
be
us
nice. I would like that.
to watch the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, the first 2 episodes were The Rubber Woman.
Yeah.
And it is essentially takes place in Murder House.
Yeah,
and
so it takes... Location is the same as season 1 of American Horror Story, Murder House.
Yeah. It's so good. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone in the respect that it's like each one's a closed story. The ending leaves you feeling uneasy the way a Twilight Zone episode does.
Yeah. I kind of felt like it was not necessarily an uneasy feeling, but like almost like it was a little bit of a weirdly happy ending. Not happy, but like for American Horror Story, it was like an upbeat kind of ending almost. And that kind of made me uneasy.
Yeah, but it was like, we can't really talk about it because we don't want to spoil it.
Because we would absolutely end up spoiling it. So
it's weird. If you've watched it, comment down below. Obviously, don't spoil it for anybody, but...
Or we could just say, or we could just say spoilers in the comments. So if you do decide to spoil it, we'll engage, but go through the comments at your own risk.
Yeah. So, other than that, not too much else going on.
No, you got some planting done, but we didn't end up doing the garden this year.
Yeah. So we waited around. We had a bunch of boards and stuff that we had cut. We had planned on building this big planter. We were going to do corn, beans, and squash, a bunch of other stuff. And
it was just one thing after another. It just kept, like, we didn't have this, or we needed to get this, or we had everything, but we were waiting on something else. And it just, week after week passed, and we realized that it was not going to be what we wanted it to be, what we were expecting to do back in April. So that's why we've never really done that follow-up video and said, hey, here's our garden, because it really didn't exist in any form until the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have lots of pictures of the flowers out from, which are absolutely beautiful. So those turned out absolutely beautiful and really fragrant and nice to walk up the steps, and you just see this plethora of color. And
when the squirrel is not hiding food in the flower bed, it's nice.
Yeah.
What was it, like a biscuit or something?
It was a full bun with a bite out of it. He planted his bun. Actually, when the neighbor who lives downstairs came out, he was sprawled out in the planter eating the bun.
You didn't tell me that.
No, I know. I forgot to tell you. But, good times. Well, it's been too hot for him to do anything else.
Yeah, today was a nice change of pace if it wasn't raining.
It's been weirdly hot and humid, but we've been getting a lot of storms and a lot of rain and thunder and
it only got up into
a lot of wind.
Yeah, it only got up into like the mid 60s Fahrenheit here today. So like, it was a really nice day out if it wasn't raining.
Yeah, and for those of you in Canada, or at least in Ontario...
for those of you in the rest of the world that use Celsius...
well, no, what I was going to say, for those of you in Ontario, you probably know that there was a tornado that touched down in Barrie.
Yeah.
5 minutes away
Yeah.
from my father's house. He's safe. Everybody in my family's safe, so that's good. But
Yeah, and
it's a little scary.
It's a little scary, but it's
we don't get tornadoes in this area.
yeah.
Usually.
It's funny to me that there was such a big to do. Like, obviously there were homes destroyed. Nobody died, or there were a couple people that got hurt, but like, how big of a deal that was here.
No fatalities, no, like...
Right, but how big of a deal that was and how it made the headlines in the news and everything. And I'm just kind of like, from an area of the world that gets tornadoes somewhat regularly, so I'm just kind of like...
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, is it really that big? Because it looked like it took out maybe a dozen houses.
Yeah, it was like a full row, full block of houses in some suburban...
Yeah, you could tell it was like pricey housing too. So, of course, a broom closet in Ontario was like $800,000. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, other than that, not too much else happening.
Yeah, not too much. So I guess we'll just kind of wrap things up and say, are there any new TV shows that you guys have been watching that you think we should watch? We can try to do another review, but if you recall, when we did our review of Dark Crystal, we got copyright struck twice. So it'll have to be a pretty selective review if we do a full review on it.
Yeah. Or any music. Right now, I'm obsessed with Jake Shear's new single, "Do the Television." It's
a good song. It's a bop, as the kids say. God, I'm old. It's a bop, but if you want to look into that song, "Do the Television" by Jake Shears, look it up on YouTube, because the music video that goes along with
phenomenal.
It is amazing. Although, trigger warning, epilepsy
Yes.
warning. It has a lot of strobe and flashing
Yeah,
lights.
there isn't an epilepsy warning at the beginning.
there's
there
no
should
warning.
be. It's pretty flashy.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, a great song.
It's like a mashup.
Brilliant video.
The music itself is like a mashup of like 5 or 6 different huge hits from the 80s.
Yeah.
But lyrically, it is so good. Like the
Yeah.
meaning behind it and everything.
It encapsulates the 80s in a way that newer artists have been trying to do but haven't been able to do so yet.
It encapsulates that whole era and generation that can only be encapsulated by somebody who's lived it.
That's exactly it.
Because the whole meaning of the song is like there's this entire generation that grew up with all these references to TV and dances and these learning different dialects and stuff because of television.
Right.
And television basically is nothing
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Like we just asked about what TV show you're watching, but essentially television is nothing nowadays because everything's streaming, it's online,
Right.
it's through computers. It's not the same that it was when we say television. So
Yeah, but that's our diatribe about it. Check out the song.
So good.
Yeah,
so good. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, Jake Shears, "Do the Television." But that is going to wrap it up for us. So if there's a show that you want us to watch or that you've been obsessed with or what have you, drop that in the comments below as well, and we'll see if we've got some new stuff to check out until we're able to be completely free and out in the open and back in public again.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, give us a like over on Facebook as well. We're also on Twitter at Men of the Den and Instagram at Men of the Den. And Derek, Greg, and Steve do stream on Twitch.
Sorry.
Not necessarily Steve. I'm just so used to saying Derek, Greg, and Steve. But stream on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Men of the Den. And Ed also streams on his own channel, twitch.tv/Ed Culp. So give them a...
Yeah, and I don't think there's a set schedule right now for streaming. It's
No,
pretty much
and
like
we'll
whenever
try
they
to
got
keep
the time.
we'll try to keep the Facebook updated so that if they do start to have a set schedule, we can post and say, hey, we'll be live at X time on X date. In the meantime, we hope you guys are having a good weekend, and we will see you guys next weekend.
Bye.